Hi, Aaron.
Yes, this is he.
Hi, Aaron. This is Cassie. I'm calling. You entered your information about your property there on Bellevue,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just giving you a call to see what's going on there, have a chat with you, see if I can be a good buyer for you. All right. So I have I know we only have like limited options so that you're not filling out 85 forms. But do you have is this tenant occupied?
Yeah, it says 2-year lease.
2 year lease?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And when did that lease start?
Well, we just finished it, so it was actually a hot property. They were waiting to go in it. It started about a month ago.
So
New
you ha-
tenant.
you have a new tenant that started like a month ago on a 2 year?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, cool. Um, why are you looking to sell?
Just looking to invest in something else.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we actually rehab this entire property. Everything's pretty much new, and we're looking to go into another area. So we're looking at the ones that we may consider selling, and this was one of them.
Oh, okay. So you got a portfolio going?
It's very small.
Okay. Hey, that doesn't mean nothing. Sometimes that's easier to manage.
Yeah, that's all I can manage. I just do this on the side. This is for my children. When they grow up, I'll have some, for them. That's all.
I love that. I absolutely believe in the power of real estate and what it can do for people. Everybody has their own journey, and mine is all real estate, but that's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I just happen to be that crazy person. Me and my business partner, I mean, there's nothing in real estate we don't love. It's our thing, But I truly recommend to everybody, even if it isn't your number one, that doesn't mean you can't still love it, and it can't be a huge part of your legacy, So
Right.
wonderful
Right.
plan, wonderful plan.
Most definitely.
Okay, well, I guess let's talk a little bit about this one. Are you local to Memphis there?
Yeah, I was native to this neighborhood as a
Oh,
child, so that's why a lot of my properties are by in that neighborhood. This is
Eve.
actually one I played in front of as a kid. So.
Oh, that is such a cool feeling. Uh, it's super funny. My business partner and I, we try to like minimally own a property in every neighborhood we ever lived in.
Nice.
So like where he grew up, where I grew up, the first house he bought, the first house I bought, like we still try to keep them, in there because there's something about that, on the streets you played on, um, the places you've lived have a special meaning, I think, in our history. So that's super cool.
Most
Um,
definitely.
okay, so well, can you tell me, are you looking to invest back over here? Are you looking to like turnover? What are you?
Well, I'm still on couple over. We're going into farming next. So
You're going into what now?
farming.
Oh, farming?
Um,
Oh, you are
yes.
oddly enough the second person that I have talked to today that literally told me I want to sell my house because we're going into farming. And the other one wasn't in Tennessee, it was in Kentucky.
Right. Right. Great area to farm.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you what's super funny about that is like this is legitimately my long term goal. It's so funny to me. It's like the universe is bringing me my kindred spirits today.
I know. Yeah,
uh,
it's funny how that works.
I know. So well, that's amazing. I'm a big proponent of that plan as well. So very cool, very cool. Um,
Right.
so let me ask you this. what is your time frame that you're looking to sell this or your properties? Do you have like a cash out goal? Like, I want to make sure, I can be a good buyer resource for you one way or another.
Well, as soon as it makes sense, I have a hard appraiser going out Monday. They can appraise the property, and I actually have an agent that's I'm wanting to work with. And she's going out Friday to do some comps. But hey, we're looking as soon as possible to liquidate. We're just, like I say, we're just liquidating this one for some seed capital going to the farm. So
Yeah.
It's a full rehab. I mean, everything in that house is new, pretty much. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, everything's new. It's a turnkey property. Lease already in place. So,
right. So for me, the way I look at it is if I have a tenant occupied property, I'm listing it, so on and so forth, that rent rate matters a lot to me. So what do we got for rent?
Well, I think the rent on that one is it's like $980. If I'm not mistaken, about $980, $985. $935. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Close enough. I'd have to be doing the same thing. Okay. Has your agent told you what they're charging you on that listing?
What they're charging me? What do you mean?
What is she charging you to list it?
This will probably be about 6% of the sale of the property.
Gotcha. I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it like, is it going to be better for you to list it and sell it, or is it going to be better for me to just buy it from you?
Either way works for me.
Yeah.
I already told her. I mean, she's a family member. I told her if I use the agent, I'm going through her. But if I can sell it to an investor outright, then that's the way we're gonna move. Either way, I know the investor route. If you were to go into your deep pockets and just buy it, then hey, I save a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, it can save you a little closing costs too.
Yeah. Well, everybody has to eat, so I understand that process also.
Yeah. So do you have what did your appraisal come back at?
We're getting that done Monday.
Gotcha.
I have another one in the area. We had it appraised about 7 months ago. It came back at 160. That was about 7 months ago when things were kind of crazy. It cooled off a little bit. I'm thinking around 130, 140.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I am not pulling those comps up. Do you think, is it like larger?
Yeah, it's a brand new home. No one ever lived in it before. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So he had to go over a couple blocks to actually pull comps on it.
Yeah. I'm looking at comps like over in the area. So let me just verify with you. Is this property 1,092 square feet still?
Yes, same.
Okay.
But they're showing on probably where you're trying to prove from that the house was built in like what, 1950, something like that.
No, sir. I've got 2013.
Okay, but they still had those comps like it was built like in 1950. It's a house literally down the road. Not the same floor plan. It's not as big, but it's just sold for like 95. But that's not showing up for some reason.
I do have the house. I do have the house that sold for 95 on Bellevue.
Yeah, that house right there.
I got that one. It's showing 1950.
Okay.
I got this one showing 95, and that's kind of what I was looking at. I was about to go look at photos of that one, and try and expand my map a little bit because I don't have all the other ones are showing like the 1950s. So when you said in the hundreds, I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, I'm gonna let you get that appraisal.
Yeah, that's why I'm sending them out. Trying to get him out here this week. I'm sending him out Monday. He's gonna go out.
Yeah, I've got one, I think, over here on Chicago Avenue, but is that across the street? Yeah, that's across that freeway there.
Yeah.
So that's what concerns me about that is I'm trying to like just move my map around and see if I do have anything, going over that 95,000. My only concern is if I want to get a cash out loan on this at any point in time, I'm going to get 80% of that appraised value. I don't want to come out too much cash out of pocket if I want to cash it out, because the cash flowing rental, that's just the way I'd be looking at it.
I got you. That's what I did on my last one. And those comps came back to where it put me right where I needed to be.
Yeah.
It's some new homes, condos that they're building probably 5 minutes down the road. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the way he went. So he was able to pull those comps. And we did this through a bank, so
yeah.
Yeah. So it may be one of those things you want to circle back around and revisit after we get the hard comps, so I can, do a fair market value on it. Like I said, I'm not trying to I bought it right. I don't owe anything on it. I don't have to beat anybody up. It's not what I'm trying to do.
Oh, no, I get you. And I'm not trying to offer you less than you can get or not be in a good position. So like for me, like I look at it like I comp it like, what is the market going to pay you if you sell this? Well, with a tenant in it, that's kind of my hindrance,
Let me ask you a question. What do you do? What would you do? Because I definitely want to negotiate this deal to where that tenant has time to possibly live out their lease. She's a good friend of mine. Great tenant. I don't know if you buy properties with tenants already existing, do you leave leases in place? But that's definitely how I want to try to negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm all about keeping a good tenant in. If the property cash flows.
Gotcha.
After you owning it free and clear, I don't know what you bought it for. I could probably pull it up, but it's cash flowing real well for you. After but for me, if I buy it anywhere near that 1% mark, I'm not going to make money to keep a tenant in it.
Yeah, I got you.
And then also, on the MLS, like that's what that's what we're going to be looking for, right? Like that would be like saying, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to get, I'm going to put, $90,000 down on this house and it rents out for $950 a month. But I have vacancy, I have maintenance, I have capital expenditures. I'm probably not going to mess with vacancy too much because I'm probably going to try to sell this bugger after she moves out, just because I'm not making any money. It's just rent, paying down equity. So it's not very risk adverse. I'm not going to be able to get a loan where it's not, it's just no matter what, it's cash heavy. Yeah, it's cash heavy without cash flow for me if I pay full market value. So
see, I don't know much about the area because I've only ever used pretty much my own money.
Yeah.
I don't know about hard money loans, and I hadn't tapped in that side of real estate because, like I said, I'm not heavy in it. So I hear you. I don't understand it because I have never, besides my personal home.
Right. Yeah. And so what I would be looking for is just a normal loan that a bank would give us as investors for buy and holds. So long-term rental loan versus similar to the loan you bought your personal home with. Hard money loan, that's only something I'm typically going to do on a fix and flip, right? This isn't a fix and flip. So what you're talking about where you get into the property, it's distressed. you're building equity into it by fixing it, and yeah, maybe you hold it, but you have room to make money every month on what you did, what you purchased it for. So you're making money on your money, right?
Right.
Me, if I buy this at full market value with a tenant in it, that's I don't make money every month.
You need to buy at a discount.
Yeah.
You're needing a deal. How much room are you looking to make in your deals?
So what I would prefer to see, and what most people are going to want to see, is if this house is renting out at, I'm just pulling up a calculator so I can tell you more specifically. There's two ways to look at this. I have, let's just say it appraised for $95,000. Even though I haven't dug into the comps, I probably need to find a couple more comps to verify that, because an appraiser is going to need 3 of them at least, right? So let's just say it appraised at $95,000 because I saw the one on Bellevue. And I have to make no repairs, and we have a cash flowing tenant there. If I were to go, and this would be for anybody that your family member lists the property, if they were to go to a bank, because this will not be their primary residence, and they're trying to get a loan based on a cash flowing asset, a rental asset, their loan, the max that they will get for that loan is $76,000. So then they've got closing costs associated with that, realtor's costs. So that's why it may be, beneficial for you to sell directly to an investor, because those are going to be the people who are going to look at it in order to purchase it on the MLS there. And if she lists it for $95,000, she's going to automatically, there's going to be almost $7,000 in closing costs between realtor's fees and title and all that, just right off the top, right? So you're at 88,000 right there. Again, let me just do some quick numbers on where I would run these numbers at and what I would need to go ahead and purchase this. If I straight out purchase this between 70 and 75 from you, and I've got a 935 rent rate, that is the number target that I would have to be looking at.
Gotcha.
So you would probably, by having a tenant in it, you will probably make about $10,000 less on most of your offers. Because that's how they have to finance it.
Right.
And nobody who's an investor wants to put $95,000 on a property that they're not making money on their money every month. So it has everything to do with that rent rate. Now, if you were willing to potentially relocate that tenant, work something out, cash for keys, you might be able to capitalize a little bit more on that extra $10,000. But I got to be honest, the 2-year lease, you're locking me into being a landlord, and that's all I can do with that property for the next 2 years.
What would your rent rate be on a property like that?
I'm looking at what the rent rate probably is gonna be. I don't know, maybe $50 more than likely. So it's not necessarily because the property can't bring more value or it can't appraise for a little bit more. It's like I would be telling you the same exact thing if the property would appraise for $110,000. I'd either have to be able to raise the rent or, or somehow have a different exit strategy than holding it for the next 2 years.
Right, because you're looking for cash flow, or
I just
if
need
it
it to
works.
pay for itself and not be cash negative for me, you know?
Right. That makes sense.
And
That makes sense.
if I'm being 100% transparent with you, Aaron, I have other really good investment opportunities that would cash flow, right? So by having it tenanted out, you're locking it in to where your buyers are going to be people like me running numbers like me, and they might be able to go ahead and do what you're doing, and they're going to go ahead and get properties that maybe they're not paying the full value. Maybe it does need a little bit of work, but by the time it's all tenanted out, they're going to cash flow. They're going to make money. And so that's where the danger comes in there. It's like, all day, every day. And this is what I tell people. I will offer you exactly what I can give you. I will tell you exactly what I think your property is worth. I will tell you if you go list that property and you own it free and clear, you got no liens, you will probably net about 85,000 on this property or 88,000 on this property or whatever that looks like. Like I said, I would have to pull a couple more comps just to verify that. But off the cuff, that looks like the max without crossing major roads. But I pulled a pretty tight circle. It's like within half a mile, And I could dig in and find more, just like look at what I think an appraiser's going to pull. I got a bunch of distressed properties in there too. But it's like if I can go down the road and buy this property for $10,000, put $20,000 into it to make it rent out for $900, which one do you think I'm going to buy? Yours or theirs?
Where are you from?
Texas.
Yeah, okay.
Why do you ask?
I thought you were from New York.
No, New York. Where'd you get New York?
Yeah, you just that boldness.
The boldness?
That straightforward. You know your numbers. That straightforwardness. When you know your numbers,
yeah,
you're pretty much straightforward with your speaking.
Oh, you know where that comes from? It comes from, well, probably Texas, but it's just how I like to do business. I like to do good business with good people, and I like to be transparent. You know what I mean?
That's how my wife is.
Yeah, I think that's the way to live your life. Who's got time for anything else,
Because I definitely don't. And I like, hey, what you're saying makes sense. I'm just not in that world.
Sure.
Not saying I got a boatload of money, but I just try to buy the properties right because I'm doing it for a specific reason.
Sure.
And I'm really not a flipper. So I try to hold on to the little things that I do get. But this one, because we're trying to do what we're doing, has specific earmark for why we're selling it. But I think I had a tenant there, and I just want to, do right by them also.
Absolutely. And I completely understand that. And look, another reason that I'm very forward and direct and open with my numbers is because I want people to, I do have motivation, right? Like I want people to be able to, do business with me one day or another. And somehow everything real estate, like I actually own a brokerage in Texas, so I'm licensed. So I absolutely will tell you, like, hey, I think that like I just told another person earlier today, I'm going to refer you to an agent that's local because look, you're going to make the most money that way. I want to be a good resource and a good advocate for people's assets and for their real estate, because at the end of the day, when we're done doing business, if we're not ever going to do business again, I either want you to have had the one-time good experience, or I want to keep doing business with you. I want to keep being a good asset for real estate, because that's what I love to do. That's how I've built my entire career, my entire business. And like, I have a lot of family members, right? They're kind of like you. It might not be their full-time thing, but real estate has been like a real part of their legacy, like I said. And I think it's very powerful. And so I'm just straight up like, here's what I would do. Here's what I can do. Here's what you're looking at. You know, I think it's a little bit of a shame that they don't teach more, you know, in school, whether even at the college level, anything about real estate. When everybody deals with real estate is always going to be something that people need. So it's crazy to me. They don't teach even a little bit about it. So, you know, I love it personally.
Where did you get your start?
As a general contractor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually went to school to be an art teacher.
Wow.
Yeah. We actually I was working with my business partner now, and one of his friends' businesses, and we were real young, and they worked in helping contractors supplement their insurance claims. So I started learning that, and I was actually, I just graduated and I was looking for a job, and he was like, "You need to come work in this," and I really liked it. And then we ended up opening, you know, roofing and exteriors company. And then we started expanding more and more, and we became general contractors. And realistically, through those connections, we just started working fix and flips for real estate investors. So that's how we got into this field. And I just fell in love with everything real estate. Been doing it ever since.
Yeah, we kind of like the grind of it ourselves.
Yeah,
we like to get in and get our hands dirty with the fixing up. I just like seeing something that's dilapidated. Nobody will take a second look at and seeing the beauty and going in, and you know.
Yes, there is fulfillment in that for me too. And some people actually make fun of me, but when I do actually get to do some work, like even if it's my own personal home, my little projects, or if it's our fix and flips, I actually love doing the work itself when I'm able to, because it relaxes me, and I don't have 100 things going on. I just get to get lost, get focused, turn on some good music, and work with my hands. And I genuinely love getting to do stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it's like I say, it's a acquired taste. I wish I could do a lot more of it, but I just love doing what I do for a living.
What do you do?
But like I said, these are for matures. I own a small trucking company.
Yes, I have a cousin who does that. That's yeah, it's lucrative. It's lucrative. Well, look, I don't know what you're thinking on this. I think that probably that number is going to be pretty pat, pretty stick. I think, you know, also it probably depends on how quick you're looking to cash out and get the farm started. Do you already have like land identified? Do you guys already own it? What are you doing?
Yeah, we already own it. We already got land. We just got stuff sitting everywhere we just hadn't tapped into. And we're looking to start tapping into some of the stuff we own. So that's the area you want to go in. I want to see my boys out there messing with the sheep.
Yeah, I feel you there. I've got all the animals planned. I don't have my land yet, but I'm looking at all the crazy land things to make the land pay for itself, all that good stuff. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you considered, there might be a way that I can offer you a little bit more on the house if you didn't need the cash from this specific property in order to like to cash it out to liquidate it, right? Or if you were thinking about not liquidating all of your assets right now, right? So say you own 5 properties. How many properties do you own?
Right now that I'm thinking about liquidating them too.
Just two? Okay. So my thoughts are the only way to maybe get you a little bit more is to turn you into the bank where you're making part of the cash flow and maybe there's a balloon payment. So like you make a lump sum, you make some every month, but then you make a lump sum say in like a couple years. Is that something that you've considered on some of your portfolio?
Yeah, creative financing.
Yeah.
That's how I buy my bro.
That's how you buy them?
Yeah, that's how I buy my stuff.
Why don't you go ahead and sell them like that?
So I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, I was trying to simplify it for people. I'm like, I don't want to over explain or I can talk if you haven't noticed. I can talk about real estate all day long. So I'm like, how do I summarize this? I'm going to go ahead and just be like, hey, you want to be the bank? But have you considered doing a creative finance on any of your portfolio?
I really have not. I really have not, because I didn't even consider. We weren't considering selling any of our portfolio, but we want to move in this area, so that's the only reason why I'm even thinking about liquidate.
Well, what if you liquidated part of it, seller finance part of it, maybe bought a couple more, got your farm going?
Put some numbers together for me on a creative financing deal that you would be willing to do.
Okay, well, I'm pretty open if you own it free and clear. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely willing to pay maybe market value or a little bit more, get you a little down payment. But I think if you need a good lump sum of cash, we need to look at this more like a portfolio deal. See which ones you're willing to sell or finance. And those you can do some of them like very long term. You could try to use the payments to finance whatever you need for capital for the farm. Take some of them to buy, additional rental properties to keep your portfolio going. There's a few ways to look at utilizing your assets to kind of meet all your goals. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check that. So right here, that's funny. I had guessed like you. I was like, what you got? 5? You got 5? Or you got, no, I see. I'm looking at properties that are linked to this property, but I'm seeing a bunch of vacant land. You own a bunch of vacant land?
Man, what kind of skip search software are you using? Are you the genie? Are you that person from the Wizard of
Oz? Dorothy?
FBI?
No, I just look. I know how to look up real estate.
Stop looking.
I'm not trying to do nothing. I only have so much information. It's public record.
I gotta find out how to hide my stuff there.
You can't. It's public record. I just know how to look it up because I do real estate. You can look me up.
Stop doing real estate.
No, never. Oh, look.
My wife over
here laughing. Well, if it tells you I know a little bit about something, what I'm doing, I do. But look, yeah, I mean, I can put together a creative that'll work for you on 1, 2, all of your assets. I can look at purchasing and just trying to be a good buyer for you. I'm definitely open to that. Especially because that way it puts me in a position where I can cash flow, you can make money, we can let it season a little bit. We can get you, some of them where you can keep them long term, short term, liquidate, whatever,
Man, you put forth a very compelling argument. We started this conversation about just outright selling Bellevue.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like to hear what you're proposing.
Okay.
I would like to hear what you're proposing.
Okay, let me make sure I have your address because I'm gonna put numbers on paper, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably put together a couple different options for you and email it over, and then look, like I said, we'll further this conversation so that what you and your wife are trying to build for your family. I can try to be a good buyer and a good resource for you to structure that, as well as you win even more, and then I can win and I can have a rental property here.
Yeah, since I'm over, I'd like to see what you propose. But also, let me ask you this: so your hard number on Bellevue, from what I hear you saying, you'll have to be around 75 to 88.
If you want me to close that thing in cash when title clears, 70 to 75. You might make, if you list it, if it's sold for as is market value without a tenant, that's what I would think. But I will pull a couple more comps when I'm putting together my creative plans for you, because the max I saw on it without crossing the freeway there was 95. Now, if I can dig in a little bit more, because I didn't do it while I was talking to you, because I started looking at it like I got a tenant in here. Like I can't pay more than, a certain amount and it be negative cash for me every month. So it's just not an offer I would make, but if we can do something else a little bit different, I'll dig into those comps and I'll see what I think your appraisal is going to come back at, because that matters for me and how I purchase it. Right. But,
right. If it comes back north of what I'm thinking it's going to come back, that number changes for you, doesn't it?
Not with the tenant in there unless we go creative. If we go creative, the number changes for me. With the tenant in there, outright, quick close, liquidate on it, I have to be stuck with that tenant for sure on a loan at the max value. That's where you get me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said let's get creative, because then I can get you more money.
Send me over what you propose, man. I thank you for the conversation.
Yes, sir.
And, the education. I ain't have to pay you anything for it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I'm just out here trying to do good deals. So let me verify your email. It's A as in Aaron and J as in your wife's initial, I suppose. Jones @1@yahoo.com.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Hey, I got you. Okay.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
Is your business partner your husband?
He is not my husband.
Okay then. Okay.
Why do you ask? Or because you guys do business together?
Yeah, that's my business. Man, you some fool.
Look, yeah, I really appreciate the conversation, man. I hope we get to do business together. And if not, I hope we get to stay connected and I get to follow at least y'all's journey. It's really good to hear families out there, even if you got your full-time trucking business and y'all are doing, other things. Like I said, I just love real estate, and I love to be a good resource. And usually what that turns into is I get to do business with people.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely keeping your number. And when we're in Texas, I'm going to come and take a class so we can utilize you as a tax write-off.
All day. I will be a tax write-off all day. We got a 2-day boot camp here coming in June where we teach a lot more than what we just talked about.
No, for real? You serious?
Yes.
No, you for real?
I am dead serious.
What's the name of your company?
Titanium Investments.
Titanium Investments.
Yes, sir.
And how much is your class?
3,000.
3,000.
Yes, sir.
What part of Texas?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, Texas. How far is from that? How far? Where that place is? The base?
Air Force Base?
That's what you're talking about? What base? Oh, yeah, she was in Fort Worth. I think the Army base or something.
There's a base here in Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's probably where her. Okay, cool. But I'm trying to get down to the turkey leg hut.
The what?
You give me the turkey leg hut. I think it's that'll give me a reason to come to Texas.
Yeah, that's a 4-hour drive away. Houston.
Man, look here. I'm finna lock you in.
Yeah, I'll send you information. You come to Titanium. Man, bring your wife. And
send me some info.
Yeah, we will definitely, like I said, this is the way. And now you don't have to believe the same thing I believe, but I'm a believer. And you got to be a good steward to your blessings. And that's what the Titanium Crucible is about. We just teach people what we do, and we teach you how to run the numbers and do the things. So I'll send you all the information over your email with some numbers here.
Yeah, send me that info. And now look, I don't want to be one of your training calls.
No, you're not.
You're recording this call, like.
Yo, yeah, guarantee. I mean, it ain't to train nobody. It's just it's just transparent, showing people how to work. You know,
I mean, deals.
Yeah,
that was smooth. Masterclass.
Well, thank you, Aaron. What is your wife's name, just so I know, so I can note it here?
No, you just look it up.
Okay, well, fine.
Look it up, everything else.
Make me work for it. That's fine.
I ain't giving you everything, guys. She got me off my whole strategy.
But you got this in an entity.
I don't know how you did it.
I'll show you at the Crucible. June 9th and 10th. We'll feed y'all and take you axe throwing and be in community. I love it. All right. Well, it was such a pleasure to get to talk to you, and I look forward to meeting you and Mrs. Jones. And yeah, I'll shoot you an email later this afternoon.
Man, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm going to make money on that call one way or another. Aaron, like, it might take me a minute to structure the best way to help them utilize their assets, make us a buyer. That wasn't the quickest or most efficient purchase necessarily call, but it's definitely good business. And I think, and I mean, look, I just let y'all know, I don't know, I cannot analyze myself when I'm on these calls. Like RJ kind of told y'all before I got on here, I just get on and I talk to people legitimately about their situation. This is why we say it can't always be scripted. It just, we don't do scripted, right? I'm just talking to people about real estate. I'm telling them what I need, what I can do, what I can offer. You know, sometimes it is, I mean, he said it, I'm not going to say it. He said, thank you for the education. Sometimes that turns into a very educational phone call with these sellers. And that turns into a lot bigger undertaking to structure that deal so that we can take it down, right? Secret admirer. What? Jonathan, I can comp a property for you. Let's see. Adam, you were all over this call. Oh, hey. Pick up the phones, right? Like, look. Some of these comments, man. You say never mention balloons. Some of them. The reason I went with a shorter, like, hey, balloon situation is because I knew he wanted to liquidate some of his assets for the purchase of that farm, and I thought it might, you know, if I can structure a portfolio deal for this seller, I could pull up, you know, several properties that he owned, you know, and it might make me a buyer in many ways for at least a few of them, and then them have the ability to then reinvest in another property as well as invest in their farm. That's really, I was going for the total package on that one, right? And then as the second option, just the kind of tight numbers there on what it would be to just for him to liquidate that rental. I like to, if you guys can't tell, I like to give my sellers an option and sell me on what their needs were. So I like to talk to people about what my needs are, right? If I'm buying that property, I ain't buying it for full market value with $935 rent rate. I ain't doing it.